Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Jamie Miller, PGA teaching professional, and today we're going to be talking about something that is maybe not overlooked when it comes to golf, but probably a little bit misunderstood, and that is pre-shot routine. We're going to talk about why it's important, why we have one, and we'll talk about some of the things that I think need to be in a pre-shot routine if you do have one. Let's get into it. So why do we have a pre-shot routine? And the reason is quite simple. It makes every shot feel the same. I'm sure we've all experienced those days where you get up for work, you get yourself ready, you go to work, you come home, and you do it all over again. Every day feels the same. And that's what we want with golf. We want every shot, no matter the situation, to feel the same. We want that drive that needs to be in play to feel the same as the putt that needs to win the tournament for us. We want to know that if we're going to shoot our best round ever, the next shot we hit is going to feel exactly the same as the last shot we hit. So we can perform under that pressure that we put ourselves under, that the situation might put us under, and that is why a pre-shot routine is important. With all that in mind, what are some important things that we need to put into the pre-shot routine? One of the most overlooked things, in my opinion, when it comes to pre-shot routine is people reading the lie, because this lie is not the same as this lie. Or this one. And each of those lies means the ball is going to fly out differently. You can't just walk up to the ball sitting down the bottom of the rough from a 7-iron distance and expect it to fly out of the rough like a 7-iron would from the top of the rough on a dewy morning, where it's going to fly more because it's got less spin. And if you want me to do a video on how to read lies or have a better understanding of how to predict what's going to happen from the lies, pop in the comments below and let me know. But this one here should probably come out with a little bit less spin and probably a little bit softer because it's down the bottom of the grass, a lot of grass around it. So I'm probably going to have to give it a little bit extra. Expect that it's not going to stop as quickly as I might want it to. And all those things factor in to the next part that's important of a pre-shot routine, which I'll get to in a moment. Hopefully, after I've stuck this one nice and close. Oh, did not quite run out how I hoped it would. Oh no. That's a misread. Never mind. For me, the next non-negotiable when it comes to a pre-shot routine is having a target. It doesn't have to be the most precise target. I don't need you to pick an exact leaf out on a tree. But for me, aiming at something is better than aiming at everything or nothing. There's more to that, which we'll get onto in a moment. I'm now 110 yards away from the hole. PGA Tour average greens in regulation from this distance is 72%. That means they missed 28% of greens from this distance. Tiger Woods was 80% from this distance throughout his career. Now that is one of the best golfers to have ever played the game, and he was 8 percentage points better than the tour average. It's small percentage points like that that make a huge difference in golf. If I don't have a target, how do I know if I've hit a good shot or a bad shot, or a shot that I can improve on? Now the flag on this hole at the moment is tucked back right of this green. The wind is into and off the left. If I go at the flag, I could hit it straight at the flag, and I could end up to the right of the green. Now I've hit a pretty good shot because I've hit it straight at my target, but I've ended up in the wrong spot. Now I know that I've hit a good shot because I've hit it at my target. I've picked the wrong target, but I've hit a good shot. I could also aim at the left edge of the green, push it 15 feet, 20 feet, and end up a foot from the hole. Now, is that a good shot or a bad shot? Well, it's a very good result, and in golf we always take good results. But it's probably not the best shot from this distance. We can use that kind of data that we gather from shots like that where we miss our target left, right, short or long, particularly with different clubs. Everyone's 3-wood flies differently to their pitching wedge. And if you know what your pitching wedge does compared to your 3-wood, you can pick appropriate targets and you can lower your scores because you've got appropriate targets. That's how come we need to have a target. And like I said, doesn't have to be the most specific target, but definitely having a target that we can align ourselves to, because that's another thing. If you don't have a target, what are you aligning yourself to? How do you know that you're going to be pointing the club in the right direction when you make contact with the golf ball? So having a target is a non-negotiable for me, and it's something that I think a lot of people need to work on. A, in picking a target, and then B, picking the appropriate target for the club they've got in their hand and the situation. So with all that in mind, wind off the left, slightly into, 110 yards, flag tucked near a bunker and a drop off. I'm going to aim probably quite a bit to the left of the flag here, probably sort of middle of the green. There's a nice piece of light brown grass behind the green that I'm going to aim my club at. I'm going to try and hit it straight at that, at the wind do its thing. I have. That's straight at my target. The wind is bringing it back towards the flag. Good shot. Looks a few feet away from here. So I know that was a good shot because I hit it at my target. That means that with this club, on this day, I have control over where the ball is going within reason. That's why it's important to have a target in these pre-shot routines. Let's see if we make a birdie. Well, misread the wind on that one. It's a bit more into than I thought. And the ball spun back a little bit as well. But that is also part of the pre-shot routine. We need to read the wind like we read the lie. We need to understand how that ball is going to react when it gets up into the wind and what that's going to do to our shots. That is something that you can do before your round. You can look up how fast the wind's going to be blowing on a certain day and what direction it's coming from. Most people play their golf at the same golf course all the time. So there's no reason you can't know prevailing winds and how it's going to affect your shot, and then put it into your little supercomputer brain and figure out how it's going to affect each shot. Alright, let's make a birdie. I don't know if I made a birdie on camera before. Oh, nope. Still no. It's an easy two-putt par. Those are always fine. The last non-negotiable for me, which probably isn't a non-negotiable to be fair, it's more of a highly recommended, is a practice swing. Now you don't have to do a practice swing on every shot, but if you've got a shot where you have to play something that's a little bit out of the ordinary, like this one where I'm going into the wind, I'm going to try and play it a lot lower than I normally would. I would have a practice swing trying to create the feeling that I need to make sure that ball launches low and on target. You might want to do this if you're working on something in your golf swing. If you had a lesson and been given some different feels that you need to get used to. You might want to do this if you need to maneuver a ball around a tree. If you've got a tricky chip shot and you've got to try and judge the distance. Those are times that I think it's really, really important to have a practice swing. Because they're out of the ordinary, we're not used to doing them. There we go. Nice low one. On target, wind not affecting it, which is exactly what I wanted. Having a practice swing that can give you the feels you need that are required to play the shot you're about to play can really help you lower those scores over the long run. The last piece of the puzzle, for today at least, post in the comments down below if you want me to do some more of these kind of videos, is to make sure that you're always moving. Golf is a game where we use every part of our body to try and match up the club face, point to our target, and use the middle of it as well. And we use every part of our body, so it's important and a lot easier to do all that for hitting the golf ball, not from a standstill. If you're someone who's still at the golf ball, not moving, and then trying to go firing every muscle in your body, you're going to find it very hard to do that consistently, regularly, and time it all very well. It's often a lot easier to do these kinds of things. Imagine a goalkeeper in football trying to save a penalty kick. They're always bouncing so they're ready to move. And we've got to be the same in golf. Maybe not to the same extreme, but I would definitely like to see, at the very least, a couple of waggles, a little bit of a weeble wobble with the body, get that pressure shift going, and then club behind the golf ball, and off we go. Oh, what about? Hopefully, that's somewhere down there the green. Now, if you're not someone who's used to moving a lot before you hit your shot, it can be quite difficult to do, quite difficult to get the motion and the timing of it right. But stick with it. You'll find it gets easier, and hopefully, you'll also find that your swing becomes a lot more free because you're not stuck and stiff. You're ready to go. You're an athlete. You're prepared to do the activity that you're doing. Because golf, believe it or not, is quite a strenuous activity on the body. There's a lot of parts moving, and it's important that we have those parts prepped and ready to go. The best way to do that is to make sure that we're moving. Oh, sit down. Oh no, stop, stop. That was a big kick. Oh no. Get the hole of putt to make that birdie on camera now. That's all from me for today. If any questions at all, please pop them in the comments below. Feel free to stick around and watch me attempt to make my birdie on camera for what I think is the first time. Make sure you create a nice little pre-shot routine for yourself. Add in some of those non-negotiables. Let's pick a target. Let's have some practice swings. Let's make sure we're reading the lie. And while we're at it, let's read the wind as well. Understand what that ball's going to do. Help yourself lower those scores. Make sure you keep moving too. Definitely give that one a go. The amount of freedom that can give you is understated. Alright, come on. Birdie time. I don't think that's, no, it's not hard enough. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all again later.